upset. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that controls nearly every aspect of your energy, your weight, upset, your mood, and even how long you live, your metabolism. When most people hear the word metabolism, upset, they immediately think about how quickly or slowly they burn calories. They often connect it only to weight gain or weight loss, upset. But the truth is that metabolism is far more comprehensive and far more powerful than just the number of calories you consume or burn, upset. It is the central control system of your body, regulating how energy is produced, how nutrients are absorbed, upset, how toxins are processed, and how your entire physiology adapts to stress and change. In short, upset. Metabolism is not just about body size, upset. It is about how effectively your body runs the thousands of chemical reactions that keep you alive every single second, upset. Imagine for a moment a factory. In this factory, raw materials come in, they are processed, turned into finished products, upset, and waste is removed. If the machinery is working efficiently, the output is smooth, the workers have energy, upset, and the factory thrives. If the machinery is clogged, the workers get exhausted, the output slows down, upset, and the factory begins to accumulate waste. Your body is that factory, upset. And metabolism is the machinery that keeps everything flowing. When your metabolism is efficient, upset. You can take the same food as someone else and use it to create vibrant energy, sharp mental focus, and a healthy weight, upset. When your metabolism is sluggish, you may eat less than another person and still feel tired, struggle with cravings, upset, and store fat. A sluggish metabolism does not happen overnight. It is usually the result of years of dietary habits, stress, upset, lack of sleep, and exposure to processed foods that overload your body with sugar and refined carbohydrates. Over time, upset. These factors drive up insulin, the hormone that regulates blood sugar, but also directs your body to store fat, upset. With insulin constantly elevated, your cells become resistant to its signal, upset. And the energy that should be available to you gets locked away. The result is fatigue, midsection weight gain, brain fog, upset, and an inability to tap into your own fat reserves for fuel. Many people describe this as feeling like they are running on empty, upset, needing caffeine and snacks just to get through the day. But when your metabolism is functioning the way it was designed to, upset, everything changes. Instead of relying on quick bursts of sugar for energy, your body can smoothly shift into fat-burning mode, upset, giving you steady and sustained fuel throughout the day. Your brain runs on ketones, which are clean, upset, efficient energy molecules derived from fat, upset. And this provides a clarity and sharpness that surprises many people when they first experience it, upset. Your hormones come into balance, cravings decrease, upset. And the body begins to repair and rebuild instead of constantly storing and inflaming, upset. One of the most overlooked aspects of metabolism is how it influences not just your energy and weight, upset, but also your ability to detoxify. Every cell in your body is constantly producing waste products, upset. And a healthy metabolism ensures that these are processed and removed efficiently. If this system slows down, toxins accumulate, upset, leading to inflammation, sluggishness, and even premature aging, upset. This is why people with a sluggish metabolism often feel older than their years and struggle to recover from stress or illness, upset. Your metabolism also determines how effectively your body can repair tissue, regenerate cells, and maintain muscle mass, upset. With a strong metabolism, your body can recover quickly from workouts, heal from injuries, upset, and resist the natural decline that comes with aging. With a weak metabolism, everything feels harder, slower, and more draining, upset. What many people do not realize is that metabolism is not fixed. It can be trained, supported, upset, and strengthened with the right habits and the right fuel, upset. By understanding metabolism as the central control system of your health, upset, you begin to see why it should be the first thing you address if you want lasting energy, healthy weight management, upset, and a life that feels full of vitality rather than fatigue. Most people today are unknowingly locked into running their bodies on sugar as the primary source of energy, upset. From the moment they wake up and reach for a bowl of cereal, a muffin, or a cup of coffee with sugar, upset. They set themselves up for a cycle of spikes and crashes that continues all day. When sugar or glucose is the dominant fuel, upset. Energy feels quick and immediate, but it does not last. Within a short time, blood sugar drops, insulin rises, upset. And the person feels tired, irritable, and hungry again, upset. This constant roller coaster creates cravings that feel impossible to resist and leaves people thinking they lack willpower, upset. When in reality, it is simply the biology of a sugar-dependent metabolism. When the body relies heavily on sugar, upset. There are consequences that go far beyond energy dips, upset. Excess sugar intake forces the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin, upset. And insulin's job is to move glucose out of the bloodstream and into cells. Over time, with repeated surges, upset. The cells become resistant to insulin's message, which is the beginning of insulin resistance, upset. This not only leads to fat storage, especially around the midsection, but it also sets the stage for prediabetes, upset, type 2 diabetes, and many other metabolic disorders. In this state, the body is storing fat but cannot easily access it, upset, leaving people trapped in a paradox surrounded by stored energy but still constantly hungry and fatigued, upset. The alternative is to shift from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner, upset. When the body becomes adapted to burning fat for fuel, it can access a much larger, more stable, upset, and longer lasting source of energy. Unlike the small amount of sugar stored in the liver and muscles, upset. The body has tens of thousands of calories of energy stored in fat, even in lean individuals, upset. Fat as fuel is like switching from a leaky, short, lasting disposable battery to a powerful, long, life rechargeable one, upset. Once the body is trained to use fat as its primary energy source, the constant cravings, mood swings, upset, and energy crashes begin to disappear. This shift does not happen automatically, and that is why most people never experience it, upset. The modern diet is high in refined carbs, bread, pasta, soda, and snacks, which continually push the body to burn sugar, upset. To retrain metabolism, it requires lowering carbohydrate intake, cutting out refined sugars, upset, and increasing healthy fats such as avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. As insulin levels decrease, upset. The body begins to unlock its fat stores and produce ketones, which the brain and muscles can use as a clean, upset, efficient energy source. Ketones produce less oxidative stress than glucose, upset, which means less cellular damage and more efficient function throughout the body, upset. People who make this transition often describe it as a complete transformation in how they feel, upset. They wake up without needing coffee to function. They can go several hours between meals without feeling desperate for food, upset. Their thinking becomes clearer and they no longer live at the mercy of cravings. Weight loss becomes more natural, upset. Not because they are starving themselves, but because the body is finally accessing its stored energy. Beyond weight, upset. This shift impacts longevity since lower insulin levels reduce the risk of many chronic diseases, upset. It is not about deprivation, but about allowing the body to run on the fuel it was designed to use, upset. The choice of fuel source determines much more than daily energy levels. It determines hormone balance, fat storage, upset, brain function, and overall health trajectory. Remaining a sugar burner keeps people dependent on snacks, stimulants, upset, and constant eating while becoming a fat burner provides freedom from that cycle. It restores metabolic flexibility, upset, which is the ability to switch between sugar and fat as needed, giving the body resilience and stability, upset. Mastering this shift is one of the most powerful ways to master metabolism and take control of health at the deepest level. Insulin is one of the most important hormones in the human body, upset. Yet most people know very little about how it works and why it matters so much. Every time you eat, upset, especially when the food contains carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. In response, your pancreas releases insulin, upset, a hormone that acts like a key unlocking the door to your cells so that glucose can enter and be used for energy, upset. This process is essential for life, but when it happens too frequently or at very high levels, upset. Insulin shifts from being a helper to being a problem, upset. It is often called the master hormone of metabolism because it determines whether your body is in fat storage mode or fat burning mode, upset. When insulin is elevated, your body is essentially locked into storing energy, upset. High insulin tells your body there is plenty of food, so instead of tapping into fat stores, upset. It keeps packing energy away for later, upset. This is why people who frequently snack or eat high carb meals throughout the day struggle to lose weight, upset. Even if they are eating less overall, the constant insulin spikes prevent fat burning from happening, upset. Insulin also affects hunger signals. Elevated insulin can drive blood sugar down quickly after a meal, leaving you feeling tired, upset, irritable, and craving more food even though you just ate, upset. This cycle reinforces overeating and makes it extremely difficult to maintain a healthy weight. Over time, upset. The repeated surges of insulin create a condition called insulin resistance, upset. This means your cells stop responding properly to insulin's signal, upset. So your pancreas has to produce even more of it to get the job done. As insulin levels climb higher and higher, upset, your body becomes more resistant to fat burning. This is often the underlying cause of stubborn belly fat, prediabetes, upset, type 2 diabetes, and even fatty liver disease. Many people blame themselves for a lack of willpower, upset. But the real problem is that their hormones, specifically insulin, are working against them, upset. The key to reversing this situation is not simply cutting calories, but learning how to control insulin, upset. One of the most effective strategies is to reduce carbohydrates, particularly refined carbs like bread, pasta, rice, and sugar, upset. When you cut down on these foods, blood sugar does not spike as much and insulin levels remain lower, upset. Another powerful tool is intermittent fasting. By extending the time between meals, upset, you give your body long breaks where insulin can drop significantly, upset. And during those hours, your metabolism has the chance to switch into fat burning mode. Fasting is not about starving yourself, upset. It is about allowing your body the opportunity to access its stored energy, which it cannot do if insulin is constantly elevated, upset. When insulin levels are managed, the benefits extend far beyond weight loss, upset. Energy becomes more stable because your body can finally access fat stores instead of depending on quick sugar fixes, upset. Cravings diminish since blood sugar is not bouncing up and down. Inflammation decreases because insulin itself, upset, when chronically elevated, is inflammatory to the body. Brain function improves because ketones, the byproduct of fat metabolism, upset, are a cleaner fuel for the brain than glucose, upset. Hormones like growth hormone and cortisol also begin to rebalance when insulin is controlled, allowing for better recovery, sleep, and overall health, upset. Understanding the role of insulin allows you to see why so many people struggle with weight and health despite their efforts, upset. It is not simply a matter of eating less or exercising more. If insulin is constantly high, upset, Fat burning is blocked no matter how much willpower you use. Upset. By shifting your lifestyle to keep insulin low through the right foods and strategic fasting, upset. You can unlock your metabolism's natural ability to burn fat, provide steady energy, and protect against disease. Upset. Controlling insulin truly is the master switch for mastering your metabolism. Inside every cell of your body, there are tiny power plants called mitochondria. Upset. These microscopic structures are responsible for producing the energy that keeps you alive, allows your heart to beat. Upset. Your muscles to move, and your brain to think clearly. Without mitochondria functioning properly, upset. You could eat plenty of food and still feel exhausted because the body would not be converting that food into usable energy. Upset. The efficiency of your metabolism depends directly on the health of these mitochondria. Upset. And supporting them is one of the most effective ways to enhance vitality and longevity. Upset. Mitochondria produce energy through a process called cellular respiration. They take in nutrients, primarily fat and glucose, upset, and convert them into a molecule called ATP, which is the universal energy currency of the body. Every thought, every heartbeat, upset, and every breath you take requires ATP, and mitochondria are the factories that make it. However, like any factory, upset. They need raw materials and maintenance to keep running at peak performance. If mitochondria are deprived of essential nutrients, upset. Overloaded with toxins or damaged by oxidative stress, they become less efficient and your energy production drops. Upset. This is when you start to feel fatigued, mentally foggy, and less resilient to stress. Upset. One of the key ways to support mitochondria is through nutrition. Upset. Certain nutrients act as cofactors in the energy-producing pathways. B vitamins, for example, upset, are critical in converting food into ATP. Magnesium is essential for hundreds of enzymatic reactions, upset, many of which directly involve energy metabolism. Potassium helps regulate cellular fluid balance and nerve conduction, upset, indirectly supporting mitochondrial activity. Without these nutrients in sufficient amounts, the entire system slows down, upset. And even a healthy diet can feel like it is not providing enough fuel, upset. Antioxidants are another crucial factor in mitochondrial health. During energy production, upset. Mitochondria naturally create free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cellular structures if not neutralized, upset. Over time, this oxidative stress can impair mitochondrial function and accelerate aging, upset. Nutrient-dense foods such as leafy greens, colorful vegetables, berries, upset. And herbs provide antioxidants that protect the mitochondria from this wear and tear. Compounds like coenzyme Q10, upset, found in organ meats and fatty fish, upset, play a direct role in the mitochondrial energy chain and act as powerful protectors against oxidative damage, upset. Lifestyle choices also have a profound impact on mitochondria. Physical activity, upset, especially high intensity and resistance training, upset, stimulates the body to create more mitochondria in a process known as mitochondrial biogenesis, upset. This means that the more you challenge your muscles and cardiovascular system, the more energy factories your body builds, upset, and the greater your capacity to produce energy. Intermittent fasting and low carbohydrate diets have a similar effect, upset, pushing the body to adapt and become more efficient at using fat and ketones as fuel, upset, which mitochondria can use very effectively. These practices act like a workout for your energy systems, upset, strengthening them over time. On the other hand, chronic stress, lack of sleep, and exposure to toxins can damage mitochondria. Upset, cortisol, the stress hormone, upset. In excess amounts creates a biochemical environment that increases oxidative stress and weakens mitochondrial efficiency, upset. Poor sleep disrupts the natural repair cycles that mitochondria undergo at night, upset, leaving them less able to function during the day. Environmental toxins such as pesticides, heavy metals, upset, and processed food additives create additional burdens that mitochondria have to work against. Over time, upset. These factors lead to sluggish energy production and contribute to chronic disease. Upset. When mitochondria are well nourished and protected, the benefits are noticeable. Energy levels become steady throughout the day. Upset. Mental clarity improves, physical endurance increases, and recovery from exertion or illness is faster. Upset. Your metabolism as a whole operates more smoothly because the cellular engines powering it are running at full capacity. Upset. Supporting mitochondrial health is not about adding more stimulants or forcing the body to push harder. Upset. It is about creating the conditions where your natural energy factories thrive and deliver the vitality that is already built into your biology. Intermittent fasting is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood tools for restoring and resetting metabolism. Upset. Many people hear the word fasting and immediately associate it with starvation, weakness, or extreme deprivation. Upset. But intermittent fasting is not about depriving the body of what it needs. Upset. It is about giving the body time to heal and repair by extending the natural periods when you are not eating. Every time you eat, upset. Especially when carbohydrates are involved, insulin rises to manage blood sugar. Upset. If you are eating from morning until late at night, insulin stays elevated for most of the day. Upset, which blocks fat burning and prevents the body from fully repairing itself. Intermittent fasting lowers the frequency of eating. Upset, which lowers insulin, and this simple change creates a cascade of benefits for metabolism and overall health. Upset. When you practice intermittent fasting, you are essentially training your body to tap into its own stored energy. Upset. Instead of relying on constant food intake to keep blood sugar stable, the body learns to burn fat reserves and produce ketones. Upset. This switch is crucial for metabolic health because it restores the body's ability to alternate between fuel sources. Upset. Most people who eat frequently are stuck in sugar burning mode and never give their metabolism the chance to become flexible. Upset. With fasting, the body remembers how to use fat as its primary fuel, and this transition brings sustained energy, fewer cravings. Upset, and steady mental focus. One of the most overlooked benefits of intermittent fasting is the impact it has on cellular repair. Upset. When the body is not busy digesting food, it activates processes like autophagy. Upset, where old or damaged cells are broken down and recycled. This natural housekeeping function clears out cellular debris. Upset, reduces inflammation, and even slows down the aging process. Autophagy also helps protect against chronic diseases. Upset, as it removes cells that could become dysfunctional or harmful over time. In this way, upset. Intermittent fasting is not just about managing weight, it is about deeply restoring cellular health. Upset. Hormonal balance is another major outcome of fasting. Lower insulin allows other hormones to function properly. Upset, including growth hormone, which plays a key role in fat burning, muscle preservation, and tissue repair. Upset. Growth hormone levels naturally increase during fasting windows, which is why many people notice improved recovery. Upset. Better skin health and greater muscle tone when they incorporate fasting into their lifestyle. At the same time, upset. Hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin begin to recalibrate. Upset, making appetite signals more accurate and reducing the drive for overeating. Upset. Intermittent fasting also supports brain health in a unique way. When the body produces ketones during fasting, upset, the brain receives a steady supply of clean, burning fuel. Unlike glucose, which spikes and crashes, upset. Ketones provide stable energy that enhances mental clarity, sharpens focus, and may even protect neurons from damage. Upset. Research suggests that fasting can improve cognitive function and reduce the risk of neurodegenerative conditions, upset, which makes it a practice not just for weight management, but for long-term brain vitality, upset. The beauty of intermittent fasting is its flexibility. There is no single rigid formula that everyone must follow, upset. Some people begin with a simple 12-hour fast overnight, while others progress to 16 hours or more between meals, upset. What matters most is consistency and listening to the body as it adapts. Over time, upset. The hunger and energy crashes that seemed unavoidable start to fade, upset. And fasting becomes a natural rhythm rather than a forced effort, upset. By aligning with the body's innate design for periods of eating and periods of rest, upset. Intermittent fasting restores the balance that modern lifestyles have disrupted. Through this process, upset. The metabolism resets itself. Instead of constantly being in storage mode, the body regains the ability to burn fat efficiently, upset, regulate hormones, repair damage, and maintain steady energy throughout the day, upset. Intermittent fasting is not about restriction, but about freedom. Freedom from cravings, freedom from energy crashes, upset, and freedom from the cycle of constant eating. It gives the body the opportunity to work as it was meant to, upset, unlocking a level of health and vitality that many people did not realize was possible. When you take control of your metabolism, upset, you take control of almost every area of your life. Metabolism is the foundation that determines how much energy you have, upset, how well your brain functions, how balanced your mood feels, and how resilient your body is against stress and disease, upset. Most people focus only on surface-level goals like losing a few pounds or cutting calories, upset. But true mastery of metabolism goes deeper than that, upset. It is about aligning your daily choices with the way your body is designed to function so that everything from your hormones to your energy production works in harmony, upset. When that alignment happens, health feels effortless instead of a constant battle, upset. A mastered metabolism gives you stable energy from morning to night, upset. You no longer depend on stimulants like coffee or energy drinks to get through the day because your body knows how to access fat reserves and keep you fueled, upset. This steadiness changes how you show up in life. You can focus on your work without distraction, upset. You can engage more fully in relationships, and you can pursue goals with consistent drive, upset. The constant highs and lows that come from a sugar-dependent metabolism disappear, upset. And what replaces them is a sense of calm energy that supports productivity and clarity, upset. Mental clarity is one of the most profound benefits. When the brain runs on ketones, produced when the body is burning fat, upset. It operates on a cleaner, more efficient fuel than glucose. Thoughts become sharper, decision-making improves, upset, and memory strengthens. For many people, this shift feels like unlocking a new level of potential they did not know they had, upset. Instead of being weighed down by brain fog or emotional swings, they gain the ability to think clearly, plan effectively, upset, and handle stress with greater resilience. Mastering metabolism is not just about the body, it is just as much about the mind, upset. Another key change is freedom from constant cravings and hunger. With balanced insulin levels and metabolic flexibility, upset, the body does not scream for food every few hours, upset. This means you can go about your day without being tied to snacks or worrying about your next meal, upset. This freedom creates more space in life for what truly matters, upset. Food becomes a tool to nourish the body rather than a source of stress, guilt, or distraction, upset. The confidence that comes with being in control of your appetite spills over into other areas of life, upset, building discipline and a sense of empowerment. Physical health also transforms when metabolism is mastered, upset. Excess weight begins to drop naturally, not through forced dieting, upset, but because the body is finally able to burn its own fat reserves. Inflammation decreases, making joints feel better, upset. Skin look healthier and recovery faster. Hormones rebalance, supporting everything from sleep quality to reproductive health, upset. The risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes, fatty liver, upset. And heart disease decreases significantly because the underlying metabolic dysfunction that drives them is corrected, upset. This is not about chasing short-term results, but about building a body that is strong, balanced, and resilient for the long term, upset. Perhaps the most powerful outcome of mastering metabolism is the sense of control it gives over life, upset. Instead of feeling like a victim of fatigue, cravings, weight struggles, or mood swings, upset, you begin to experience your body as a reliable partner. You trust it to give you energy when you need it, upset, to recover when challenged, and to support the lifestyle you want to live, upset. That confidence changes how you see yourself and what you believe is possible, upset. Goals that once felt out of reach become realistic because you have the energy, focus, and stability to pursue them, upset. Mastering metabolism is not just a health achievement, it is a foundation for mastering the way you live, work, and thrive